Hi everyone, Alex here. Continue with the Revit Multi-trade from 0 to 100 course. Today we continue with roof structures. We're going to focus on wall plates. For that, I'm going to show you how to create a wall plate so you can rest your trusses on. We're going to focus specifically on justification so that your wall plates meet the bottom of your trusses. And we're going to see the advantage of creating a new type for your wall plates. Let's get right into it. See you in Revit. And remember, this video is part of our Revit Multi-trade from 0 to 100 course. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, go ahead and watch them now, because if not, you're going to be completely lost. Hi everyone, this is Alex with BIMitUp, where we help you with professional training and coaching in mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection systems, and Autodesk platforms like Revit and AutoCAD MEP. Let's get started. Okay, now let's create some wall plates, which are the plates that are going to be on top of the wall to join our roof. We could have done this earlier, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it now as well. So we're going to have one here, and then another one here, and then another one here, another one here, another one here, another one here, and another one here, in every wall that is supporting a roof. So let's go to our roof framing plan. And now we have to go to Structure, Beam, and then we want to select our 2x6s in this case. So 2x6, and now we select, say, from here to here. But as you can clearly see here, what we placed here was a 2x6, not a 6x2. So I put it in the vertical orientation, and you can clearly see that if we go to a 3D view, that's our beam. You see, so it's a 2x6, not a 6x2. So you could do a couple of things. One of them would be to click on the beam, and then here where it says cross-section rotation, we give it 90 degrees, and then that's going to turn it around. Or the other thing you can do is just create a type for dimension lumber that is 6x2, which, by the way, I have a 6x4 here. I'll probably place that one here so you can see both options. Now the next thing you see is that this was placed a little bit too low. So let's go to our roof framing plan. Let's look for our section. Let's turn it 90 degrees. Let's drag it to right before one of our trusses, and let's double click. And here we can see what the issue is, right? When I click here, my member is placed justified to the center by default. But what I want is to justify it so that the bottom of it is at the roof level. So at the top of the wall plate matches the bottom of the truss. And here is where you can see why it's better to have an actual member that is a 6x2. I'm going to create it now so you see the difference. So I'm going to go to roof framing, and then I'm going to go back to structure, beam, but in this case I'm going to go to edit type, and I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to create a 6x2. And this 6x2 is going to have these two guys inverted. So this one's going to be 5 and this one's going to be 1. And now I'm going to go from here all the way down to here. And then as you can see, this was placed in the correct orientation, right? So let's go to our 3D view. That's this one here. And you can see that this one's perfect, right? That's the 6th dimension that I'm looking for here. Actually 5.5, but nominally 6. And now if you go to our 3D view, this is sitting perfectly under the ceiling joist. You can see that clearly in your section. Here it is, see? And even if it wasn't, this one is easily fixable, because typically what would happen, a common issue is that by default, this is set to top, and then you would have your structural member with the top aligned to the reference level, which in this case is the roof. So you would fix that very easily just by coming here to the Z justification and changing that to bottom, okay? No issues there. However, if you try to do the same thing with this one, this is what happens. You click on it. Now notice this, right? When I click here, you see where the blue dot is sitting? That's the Z justification. It's set to the bottom. Now when I click here on this one, which was the one that I flipped 90 degrees, now here's the issue. The Z justification, Revit thinks that is this side here. So when you change the Z justification from bottom to, let's say, top, this is what changes. And that's not the behavior we're looking for. So let's go ahead and delete this one. And now you know that it's better just to have the actual member created and not rotating things around like crazy, okay? Go back to roof framing, Now I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to do create similar. And I'm going to take this one from here to here. And actually you want to extend this at least to the last truss, right? So let's do the wall. So let's do the same thing on the south side. And now let's do create similar. You want to do from here to here. Let's bring our section down to check on that. Here's one of them. And here's the other one. Very good. Back to our roof framing plan. Maybe this one here we should extend all the way down to here. Then you have another one that goes from here all the way down to here. Let's extend this one to join that other wall. And now let's do create similar. And we go from here to here. Let's bring this back. Then let's get our section and let's rotate it 90 degrees. And let's see how this is looking around this area. And remember, this one will lift it a little bit more because we wanted to join both ridges, right? So this member here has to change to a 6x4. And now we're looking good. And now we can simply click here and just copy it over. Somewhere from the middle of this wall to the middle of this wall. And now we extend to here. And we shrink to here. And now we're missing the kitchen, so create similar. From here to here. Can shrink this a little bit. And then we can copy it over from somewhere in the middle of this wall to somewhere in the middle of this wall. Let's take a look at our section. Let's rotate 90 degrees. Let's bring it up a little bit. Open our section. Oh no, they are exactly where they're supposed to be. It was an optical illusion. And that's how we do the wall plate. Now we're going to continue with the rafters for the laundry.